welcome everyone. How is everyone doing today? Welcome to the Be Positive Show. Guys, it's been fun. I haven't seen you guys in a week and I miss all of you. If you are here for the first time, this is the Be Positive Show. This week is happening every weekend in the UAE time. We do it every Friday and Saturday, and I have amazing guests just like the one we have today. At the same time, throughout the week, I do gaming content. So guys, please, if you're here for the first time, do give me a follow so you can get the notifications for the next shows. And let's get started. Guys, today we have a great friend of mine, Salwa Abu Oun. She's a programming enthusiast, and she's here to tell us little nice tips on how to make programming your passion. Welcome, Salwa.
Hi, Bashir.
How's everything going? Tell us more about you, Salwa. Introduce yourself. What do you do in life? So yeah, get started. Tell us more about you.
Okay, so hello everyone. And for those who don't know me, my name is Salwa, and I'm just an 18 years old girl who was born and raised here in UAE. And yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, I'm also an IT student, and I'm gonna be graduating next year.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
exciting.
Which university do you
Yeah.
study in? Is it in the UAE?
Yes, I study in Middlesex University in Dubai, and I finished 2 years there. I have one more year to go, and
That
hopefully
that's really
start my
amazing.
own life.
Wow, wow. So how was your experience so far? You said you study IT. Is that like similar to computer science, or is it more of like web development and stuff? Tell us more about the experience.
Yeah, so my major, it's called IT, so Information Technology. Yes, it comes under the computer science department, but it's more of, as you said, like web development, software engineering, stuff like that. It's not really, it's not like hardware engineering or like IT support and stuff like that. So yes, I really love it. But crazy enough that I was never like this kind of programming enthusiast, as you said, or a
Mm.
girl who likes computers and stuff like that when I was in high school or before that. So choosing IT was like a very big step to me. It was like something that I never dreamed of doing. But yeah, it was a good choice so far. I
Well,
hope.
that's an interesting thing you said there. So that leads to my next question, which is, where did all this passion start? Like, where did you gain this passion for programming? How did you start? You said you didn't like it in high school. So when was that
Yeah,
gap that you started liking it?
yeah. So I started coding when I was like 16, because that's when I joined university. And before that, as I said, I was never like very passionate about computer programs, and I didn't know anything. I actually came from like no IT background at all when I first joined uni. So when it all started when I was choosing my major, like right after high school. And it was a very tough decision because in high school I was a very good student. Like I was always an A star student and everything. Like, and I also studied in an American curriculum school. So we had to take all the subjects. It wasn't like we can choose our own subjects in the last few years. So I had to take all subjects, and I was very good at all of them. I was good at biology, I was good at chemistry, physics, all of these, even arts and physical education. I just had passion for all of those combined together. So when I chose my major, I started kind of eliminating the university majors that I didn't want to take. Like, yes, I love biology and chemistry and these kind of stuff, but I didn't see my future as like studying like medicine or dentistry or something like that for the next few years of my life. So I completely removed the medical subjects from my future. And then I was left with like business, media, and like IT. And I didn't like media at that time. I never thought of myself as someone who is like very active on social media and stuff. I do use them and I enjoy them like a regular person. But yeah, I never thought that I would have a future in that field, in media itself. So media was also off the table, and I was left with business and IT. And business for me was very, very boring. Like I just never thought I would be, good enough to do business and to work on it for the next few years of my life. So I was left with IT, yes, I wasn't very sure about it, and I've had a lot of let's say bad views about it from and opinions from people around me, obviously. But I still feel very happy that I took it, and I'm very grateful for my supportive family and the close friends who always encouraged me to do whatever I liked, and they were very supportive of my decision. So when I took IT, I was pretty terrified, though. Don't get me wrong, and I didn't know anything about it. And let me just make it clear that even after I chose my major, I didn't even like I couldn't guarantee that this is where I'm gonna be for the next few years, because at that time I wasn't like I was so uncertain if I'm even gonna afford the university tuition fees, or even if I'm gonna stay here in UAE. I had nothing for sure. Okay. So when I joined, it was like very uncertain, and I didn't even know if I was going to continue in the same university. So I joined without even having like to worry about the future. I just thought, okay, this is my first step, so let's see what happens after that. And alhamdulillah, here I am, very happy with the decision. I don't think I would have enjoyed any other major other than IT.
Well, as a
Yeah.
computer science graduate myself, I think you have chosen the right decision. Obviously, this is a biased decision, you guys, but that's really interesting, and the whole journey of being a student. I mean, me personally as well. I was all confused and redundant in my first few years, and I wasn't sure if it was my thing, especially when I got introduced to the coding part of it, where you had to like get into
Mhm.
like crazy languages of the computer, the boring algorithms, and I was like, whoa, like easy there. But
Exactly.
I'm glad so far you've been doing it and you've been succeeding at it, from what I know. And it's really great that you have turned something that was kind of scary into something that you love and you want to learn more about. And I've obviously you're my friend, so I know a lot that I know that you always enjoy learning these things, and you're always like open to learning more and always open to opportunities that bring that kind of learning. So leading to my next question, Salwa, what are the steps, or let's say techniques, that you start when you want to develop something or when you want to learn about coding? What is like? Is there any way that I personally, if I don't know programming, can start learning myself?
Well, I guess this is like a very general question to ask any kind of developer. Like for me specifically, maybe yes, I've been doing it for the last 2 years, but maybe I still haven't found my techniques, right? Because it changes with every kind of project. So first, when I started, I didn't even start doing projects on my own. It was always like courseworks and like the modules that I took. They were yeah, so they required um, some softwares to be developed and programs and stuff. So, and initially they would give us like the techniques that we had to follow. So we had to start maybe planning for it, or we had to start just taking all the information that we know about this programming language and try to make something out of it, like just anything. And for other projects, it was like only following tutorials and stuff like that. So I can't really say I have one technique that I use on all of my projects. It kind of depends on the language that I'm using, the purpose of the projects, and obviously the tools that I'm using, because we use different tools for different programming and stuff. And yeah, as you said, coding is different for each. So, and also sometimes I work on projects with group members and stuff, and other times I work on projects on my own. So that also plays a good role. But I think one technique that I've been following the most among all of these is to take some time to think about the whole project, the whole idea of the project. What do you want it to achieve? And it's funny because at that time, I never thought that this kind of stuff needs time to think about, right? Like what exactly is expected from the system that we're building. We like people would think, oh, so it's expected to show us the images and stuff, but it doesn't really like you have to think deep and in details of the technical stuff that happened. So you need to go as detailed as much to think, oh, how this button would react, how this button would look like when we press it, what information are we putting in, what information are we taking from other sources and stuff. So yeah, again, it all depends on the nature of the project and what do we want it to do, basically.
Interesting, very interesting. And did you have any favorite project so far? Like, is there any project that you still remember until now and that you enjoyed doing? Maybe some coursework you got or some extracurricular activity that you've done? Any specific project that you really liked and you can never forget?
See, like being a positive person, I always remind myself of my achievements when I always feel down or something. So almost all of my projects I feel very proud of, even though it was like a basic or entry level kind of thing or a beginner kind of thing. But there was this project that I worked on with my group mates in my first year. It was like an Arduino project. For those who don't know
Mm.
Arduino, it's like a platform for creating smart devices or intelligent devices, something like that. So we had a project idea to create like a smart house that focuses on child safety and all of that. So for me, in my first year, I had nothing, no knowledge, no experience. I had absolutely no knowledge about how to program something. And in the beginning, I remember I thought that there's no way we can pull this off, you know? Exactly, yeah. And
Guys, this
when
is
I
an
saw
Arduino
all
kit.
of these, exactly, when I saw all of these materials, I was like, what can I, as Salwa, possibly do with all of this? Like, it was something very impossible, and I couldn't even imagine myself doing so good at it. So we started working, and it took us months. Like, it wasn't like a 1 week thing or something. So it took us months. Me and my group members worked so hard on it. We were all like coming from no IT background, and Arduino was very hard for us. It wasn't like something easy. I'm not gonna say it was easy, but yeah, we worked so hard on it. We had help from whoever we wanted, and we started writing the code. At first, it went horrible because as a beginner, you're not really expecting your project to work from the first time. So you would play with the wires, play with the sensors, play with everything until something works. And sometimes the code would work, all the connections would work, and then suddenly it would stop working for no specific reason. Yeah. So it was really challenging, I'm not going to say. But like after a few months, and I remember that the moment that we submitted it and how happy I was that this actually worked and we made it look very amazing. I'm still grateful for my friends, and if they're watching, I really wanna tell them how much it has impacted on me, because pulling this off was like the greatest thing I've ever felt. And we had people coming from even outside of our university or our judges, and they were very impressed by it. And I used to tell myself, okay, so I didn't do that big of a deal, you know, it was just something that I did. And obviously people all around the world are doing something more creative with Arduino, so I didn't feel that proud at the moment. But then after seeing people's reactions to it and people's support and all of that, sorry, all of that, it completely changed my life. Like, it made me realize how small things can affect our life in a much big impact, you know, much big amount. So I still remember that project specifically. Yes, I did some more like web development related projects after that. But I guess, as you said, this specific project would always be in my head. It would always be the first thing that I created out of nothing, and it worked, and it still works right now. So I'm really happy that I did that.
Well, I have two comments. First, it's always great to look at people's feedback because for someone we said that people done more advancing, but obviously those people had much more experience compared to I believe your first year of experience, right? You haven't even finished that year and you created something, and in my opinion, that is still something to look forward and find worth in, right? So you've done something even in your beginning, like beginning steps, and that was really great. At the same time, you mentioned that after all the work and the bugs start happening, a couple of people in the chat were like relating to this. I'm sure every programmer and every person out there knows exactly like what. Like, in fact, if we don't find bugs, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
That's the rule that I put to myself. If my code works perfectly from the first time, something is definitely wrong. So
Yeah.
guys, this is Salwa again. If you guys want to follow her on all social media and find her on LinkedIn, just use the usual command !guests to get her links. Please go follow her, show her some love, and a big shout out to her friends, whoever is watching from her side. A big shout out for all the support that you guys have been giving her and everyone who has been helping her on the project, because I believe great things can come
I
from
love
the
you.
beginners, and she loves you guys. Salwa, moving on,
Yeah.
you talked about your friends helping you and stuff, and you mentioned that your parents were very supportive of your decision to go to university.
Mm.
In this male dominant, let's say male dominant field, because a lot of people from what I see are like guys working in this. As a girl, do you get
True.
as much support as you feel like should be necessary, or do you feel that the females are kind of taken away from the whole support system? They're not looked forward or looked upon the same way as the guys? Or how do you feel as a girl being a programmer? How does that take you into the field in general? Like, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, see, I always think about that. And I just want to say that I feel very, very privileged that I have grown up in an environment where I can be whatever I want to be. And as I said earlier, my parents were very supportive of my decision. And yes, some family members or some distant cousins or friends, even, they tried to push me towards a certain, like, another path or something. And I got a lot of comments like, "You're a girl, you can't possibly work in the IT field. It's not for women, let's say." And yeah, for many different reasons. And people might think that I'm very weak, that I couldn't, take something like that, and I would possibly just end up being either like a teacher in a school or like something very like, you
Basic.
know, yeah, exactly, very basic. And yes, I can say that it didn't occur to me at some point that I can do it. It was like a very, very hard choice for me to choose again, because I've always wanted to be independent when I grow up, and I didn't want my career to be something very basic, as you said, or like something that doesn't fit me as my creative self. So I thought, no, I did want to stick to this IT, and I want to make my parents proud out of it. And so far, I've seen a lot of change in myself. Like, and I've met a lot of girls who are in the tech field as well. So this was another positive thing, because before I joined, I usually take these kind of decisions based on like either motivation or something like that. So at that time, I didn't know any like big names in IT that were women or females, and I didn't know anyone around me who was like a programmer and female or something like that. So yes, it was very challenging, and even till today, I'm like one of the very few girls in my class who are girls. But yeah, I still believe that we can do this, because I always think to myself like, what is there anything that guys can do? Let's say a university major that girls can't do, right? And but again, I guess I was very privileged to live in an environment where I can choose whatever I want to be. I understand that some girls might have a little bit of passion for programming and IT, but are not supported by their environment. And they tend to either give up uni at all, or like just go to somewhere where they're not happy with it and they just want to study it for the sake of, getting a degree or something. And this is not what I'm trying to do. So I always said that, okay, I don't want to study just to be able to work or get money or anything like that. Yes, I would love to have a job that pays a lot, but I still I don't expect myself, yeah, to just get out of uni and start working at a very high paying job or something like that. So I understand that. I understand that it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of experience, as you say, to get where you want to be. But I think it's a very, very safe, and I do encourage people, like mainly girls, to get into programming and know how fun it is. It's not really something that's very hard, and no one can understand it. Yes, in the beginning, we all think that we would never understand the computer code, and it's just so complicated to any of us. But as I say, programming is for anyone, and IT in general, it's for anyone. And on the way, I started meeting a lot of people who were inspiring me, and many of them were girls actually. And crazy enough, I recently found out that one of the supermodels was also a programmer, but she learned programming and all of that after she started her career in modeling and all of that. So that's what I really look up to. That no matter how old you are, no matter what gender you are. You can always start programming and you can always have fun with it. It's not really something that people study just for the sake of getting a job or the sake of getting paid somehow. Yeah, so it's really fun. Even being a girl didn't really affect my passion for it.
Guys, I'm literally so motivated. I feel like I can be a model now. I know programming, now I can be a model. Don't you think? But honestly, wow, Salwa. And you mentioned that you might not get a job in a big company. Well, you never know. And guys, fun fact about Salwa, which I don't think she will be like, she's so humble to a point where she's never gonna like admit it to herself or to everyone. But guys, this girl is 18 years old and she's almost done with uni. I started my journey when I was 18. So this girl is finishing her degree when I just started. At the same time, like this, like think of it with me, guys. I'm 25 years old now. I still have no other degree, no masters, no PhD, just because my personal choice was to just jump to the workforce. But this girl could potentially get her PhDs by the time she's 25, which is insane. Like, you guys, if you put this into your brain, can you imagine a 25-year-old PhD holder? Which is gonna lead me to my next question. What's your plans after graduating, Salwa? So you mentioned that you might not want to get a job or something. What's your plans in, let's say, the next 2-3 years after you're done?
Yeah, so even this is something that I always think of, and now it's getting more scary because I'm almost about to graduate and stuff. So I can't see, the thing is, I don't want to plan my life and then feel disappointed or like anything like that. And now that we can see that everyone is like working from home and stuff, so things are really, really changing. I can't really set a goal to work for 2 years and then, or take my master's and then go somewhere else because I still haven't thought really about it. Like, I know I would love to continue studying, like a higher degree, get a higher degree or something. I still don't know where or how will I do it, to be honest. And sometimes I think the opposite, actually. I think, like, um, it's fine. I would feel good if I went to work for a couple of years and then was able to afford studying on my own, right? After that. But the only thing that I don't want to do is, like, let's say I get a job that's very, very negative, or like it impacts me in a negative way. And it just, you know, I don't think I'd be happy working in somewhere that I don't like what I'm doing. And the point of, as you said, being young, I really wanted to take this chance to work on my skills and improve my skills in everything and get more experience. So if I choose to work, I'd probably choose to work to get more experience and to become better at what I do. Because after that, yeah, I guess I just want to build a life for myself. I don't want to be someone who works day and night in a company just to get paid and to afford stuff and not be happy with it, right? Because what's the point of all of this that I've done so far if I'm not going to be happy with what I do after that? So it's really, really hunting me in these times. But yeah, but I'm still grateful, and I have faith that it's all going to be good. Whatever I choose, of course, I need to study my options better than this. But yeah, I guess I'll just go with whatever comes. And there are actually a lot of opportunities for me that I could have started working earlier in an IT center, but because of COVID and all of that, it just got postponed. Like, it's not canceled yet. So I'm also excited about that. I think also it's a teaching position kind of stuff. So I was when I got that offer, I was very, very confused. Like, I'm only a second year, and what would I possibly teach other people? Of course, younger children. But when I thought about it, like, yeah, I think I wouldn't mind teaching other stuff and other people and giving them more of my experience if that's going to help them grow or whatsoever. Even though when I was, it's funny because when I was in school, everyone actually in school, I don't think anyone ever, um, dreams of being a teacher after they leave school,
That is
just to
true.
come back. It is funny, yeah, but the way I see it right now, it's really not so bad. and I'm gonna be teaching like not in a school. It's just gonna be like a part-time thing, and I'm gonna be enjoying it. And the environment around me would be very supportive, obviously. So I think that's not so bad. Like to do it until you do something else, and it wouldn't be my first time because. I mean, working and studying, because I also did that in second year. I had a part-time job and I was a full-time student, and it just went great, alhamdulillah. So I think I can do whatever life surprises me with.
That's actually
Yeah.
interesting, and a similar story happened to me. So I was actually teaching part time for most of my university life, and I still teach until this day. It's funny because I still get students calling me and recommending me as a good teacher. And
Mm.
alhamdulillah, I was very fun with the kids. Let's say so. The kids really enjoyed. My, like me being a teacher, and they always thought like, oh, he's the cool teacher, you know, just because I give them like
Yeah.
Fortnite games after class and stuff. But that's really interesting, and a part of learning is actually teaching as well. So the more you teach, the more you learn, because you have to go through the same topic or the same like subject again and again, and that gives you more things to learn. And actually, sometimes you might realize things that you've never realized when you were learning yourself. And teaching is a great way to kind of expand your knowledge on things as well, because especially if you have to teach someone something that you don't know, which means that you have to learn it as fast as like faster
Yeah.
than they have to learn it as well. And it's a really good challenge. But yes, I kind of do agree. Maybe not everyone, but like majority of the people never dream to be teachers. Some of them might just like love kids, they want to be around them, share their knowledge. But yeah, majority of the people never dream to be a teacher. And finally, the last comment I want to say that in the industry, especially in computer science, which is a very practical field, I guess the best way to learn is to actually do as much projects, get into the work, do as much practice. Like just sitting and learning books all day is not gonna help you learn a lot of computer science, but actually getting out there and coding and all that. A couple of people in the like one of the girls was very happy that you mentioned the girls part. They were going like yes, yes, girl power. Guys, I want to mention that if you guys have any questions to Salwa, please do ask them. We will get to them at the end of the show, just like 10 minutes before we end. And yeah, feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to show some love. If you want to get her details, just use the command explanation mark guest. And yeah, you can get her Instagram and LinkedIn. This is Salwa, guys. Again, she's teaching us a little bit about how to love programming. It is a tough topic, you guys, but it's still something really worthy to learn, and something that I personally believe is very essential to life as we go through the more advancements coming up. Because a lot of people were mentioning that if you don't know how to read before, you cannot survive. But I think 5 years from now, even toilets will be programmable. Like I wanna, put this much water. So even you have to program your toilets or basic stuff, and like all those, let's say, dirty work kind of jobs and stuff that don't require intelligence will be done by robots or machine, which means even those will need programming, and you gotta step up and go more advancing with the whole technology being brought into us, right? It's again, it's something we can fight back, but it's something that's eventually gonna like overtake us and dominate us, whether we like it or not. So I guess the best option is to actually go compatible with it and learn as much as you can to be able to like survive and have the advantage in the whole workforce in the future. Salwa, moving on to a whole different kind of topic. You go to competitions and hackathons, as far as I know. So, as a student, these things, I don't think everyone is always interested in these things, but knowing you, you always take the opportunities, and you always, I always see, I'm a person who goes to hackathons and competitions a lot, and I've almost seen you in everyone that I went to after you started going. What's that experience like, and what do you think it's important to go to these kind of events and participate, or is it just like another thing you just do and you want to excel at?
Yeah. See, if you had asked me this question 1 year ago, I would totally say that I'm not gonna go for any competition after today. And I just had I don't know, it wasn't really a negative experience with it or all. It's just because I've always been very competitive. Okay, this is something that I admit. And no matter what kind of like situation I've put in, I always have to win. Not always. I accept that I don't win sometimes, yes. But yeah, earlier in the days, I was always competitive. And to be honest, I didn't know any kind of competitions that would happen before joining uni. And I never really participated in a hackathon before. I didn't even know what a hackathon is when I first started. So when I came to uni, and my university is like very active in these kind of events. They're always hunting the competitions that are happening, and they always join in all of these different hackathons. So when I first joined, it was something like I never thought I would be able to do this. I was like, people who go to hackathons, they're like very, very smart people and people who have much experience in these kind of events and they know how to build something. Well, I don't know anything. And I remember my first hackathon that I ever went to was in my first year. And I went with my group members. They were part of my class as well. So I went there knowing nothing, absolutely nothing. And I guess that's where I met you the first time.
Yep.
Yeah, so I went there and I saw the different kind of people and genders and nationalities and different age groups, and all of these people combined together to join this event where they looked for solutions for like common problems, let's say, or stuff like that. And I was fascinated by like what someone can do in a hackathon. And I remember like we went to the hackathon, we had no idea, like we didn't have any solution prepared or anything. So we went the first day, we got introduced to the whole event and how, like, what's the purpose and all of that. And then in the second day, we had to like make our decision, like what is our solution, what is our project that we're gonna submit. And we worked on it so hard. I still remember the um, first project we ever worked on. It was like kind of like an environmental friendly app, let's say. So me and my team members worked on it, and we had so much fun. I remember that day, and we actually got selected out of the top 100 teams, I guess, the top 100 ideas or something. So even that was like a big success for me. I didn't even think I would go that far. And but still, like when I saw the top teams, the top 3 teams that won and everything, I can't say I didn't get jealous because I I honestly thought that we could have done so great as well and won that, surprisingly. So I didn't want to go back ever to any competition after that one, even though I did have fun, but I just didn't like the idea of not winning at all, okay? So I didn't go to any hackathon after that. And then second year came and a lot of hackathons were happening. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to even think about going there. It's not like I rejected it, but I remember I had my part-time job and I had projects and everything, and I was just focusing on getting a good grade in my studies and all. So I didn't do much of the hackathons, and then I went back on the same hackathon that happened the first year. They were having like another season for it. And I went back and I was like, why not? I mean, last time was fun. I met a lot of great people. And yeah, so we went back. It was a little bit more challenging next time. And I remember we created a project for Expo 2020. And unfortunately, we didn't get selected at that time. And it was funny because we were just making jokes about it, like on our way back, me and my teammates. And we were saying how, like, let's say, unfair the judges were. But in the end, we had so much fun. And exactly, these kind of events have opened up so many opportunities for me and so many paths that I could go. And I also connected with a lot of people that I never thought I would meet in real person, in real life. Yeah, so I met a lot of great people, and most of them are now still my friends, including you. Yeah, so I really appreciate these hackathons because as I said, they opened up many doors for me, and it opened up, like it opened to me, let's say, a perspective of life that I never saw, and I didn't care about winning anymore. And I always thought, okay, well, it's better to go to these competitions to gain experience and meet people. And no matter who wins or who loses, after all, I always end up getting like more skilled at what I do and whatsoever. And even recently, I joined a datathon. It's another type of hackathon that deals with data and all of that. And I remember me and my partner worked on Tableau, which is like a software for analytics and data analysis and all of that. So this kind of hackathon also was very, very challenging for me because when I first worked with Tableau, it was a mess. I remember we had a coursework about it, and I didn't know how to use it. We didn't have enough like experience and tutorials to help us work on data with it. So I remember after that coursework, I didn't want to do Tableau at all, not in real life, not in competitions, not in anything. I just didn't want to see that anymore. And yeah, so the fact that I joined this hackathon, the recent one, and we worked, me and my teammate worked on Tableau like for days, and we were able to come up with something. And this itself shows how good the data industry is. It's really amazing how you can bring all of the data that you've collected about customers, about machines, about anything that you do in your business, and then be able to create reports and generate summaries and stuff that could help enhance the performance of the business or whatsoever. So it's not like we're just playing with the data. It's actually finding solutions that can enhance our lives and make it better. So yeah, I've never would have learned all of this by just sticking to my studies and my books and the tutorials that I would take. I had to go the extra step and see the people around me, hear from them, listen to them, and just explore my options in this life. So I'm really encouraging people to go for any kind of competitions in their fields and learn more.
That is very true. And guys, a little secret. Even I think Salwa doesn't know this, but she I was one of the people who got to see her end results for that hackathon, and I had a data scientist with me in my team, and even he was so impressed with the work that he was like, bro, like she's done like 10 times as good as he did. And he's a data scientist. Like this guy does data science for a living, and yet her and her friend managed to even do like 10 times as good as he did in his opinion. And that was kind of really motivational for me, because like I was in the same competition and I did not spend that much effort, but I believe she did for the 2 weeks. She was like learning it every day. She was getting to know. So from complete zero, she was able to build something really nice and really like informative, and she was able to participate and do a great project. And that, guys, is what I want you guys to get from today. Is sometimes you might know absolutely nothing about something, but if you go out there and put some work and some hard work, eventually things will work out, and you can actually build something that you can be proud of. And honestly, there are so many resources online. Like now there's code.org, there's Code Academy. Big shout out to all these big companies, by the way: Khan Academy, Coursera, Udemy, all these amazing websites and platforms that can help you learn things that, like, you can learn so many things and so many technologies and so many coding languages to be able to create something. And finally, I want to mention that coding is actually very important.
But please, before you continue, I just want to highlight a very important part about that. That yes, so I worked on it, but I worked on it with my teammate. Her name is Riham. So if she's watching, I really want to thank her. Like I did thank her, and I guess I did that a lot. But yeah, I really wanted to thank her because being with a partner was much different than me working on this alone, because there were many times in this small hackathon that I thought, what, we could never do this, and it's just something that we are not built for, and I would lose motivation a lot. But her being there with me and supporting me, and even keeping me positive, even when she herself also found like felt down sometimes, we would always keep each other motivated and feel very positive. And so we would help each other out. And now look at us, we were so proud of what we have done. So I really wanted to thank her and to tell people how important it is to surround yourself by supportive people. um, it's funny because I never thought that me and the person that I work with are going to be so supportive of each other. I mean, usually in businesses or stuff like that, people would be so competitive with their
Mm.
partners. And, even when working on the same project, many people would just feel like, I don't need to do anything. She has to do her part. I need to do my part. And a lot of fights would come. But for us, it was nothing like that. And we didn't fight at all, like at all. We would always like, the person who's feeling down would always start saying negative comments and stuff, and the other person would always lift them up and start looking for more solutions, and just being faithful, and yeah, have faith in each other. That's like the key of teamwork, because I never experienced something like that before, working in a team of two. So that was really important. I was really happy that she was there with me and not anyone else.
Well, a big shout out to Riham for this lovely, lovely, supportive pair. Again, guys, two young ladies did build a great, great project, and I'm actually looking forward to see the results. I have really good, like hope and faith that they will be one of the winners, inshallah. But yeah, so Salwa, a little less about programming and just a little more about you. What do you like to do as a hobby? Are there any other skills that you find interesting? Something you do? Do you draw? Do you do sports? Tell us more about that kind of like leisure activities and hobbies that you have.
Yeah, so remember how I said that I was good at everything back in high school? Yeah, so I really had a very big heart for, let's say, arts and physical education as well. I once won a fitness challenge or something like that. So I really do like being active and being just do something, physically and whatsoever. So I have a lot of hobbies. I can say, okay, I can, like, okay, let's say I'm very interested in photography as well, even though I don't have a camera and I'm not a professional photographer and stuff. But when I take photos, they always tend to be great and whatsoever. So I really improved by time just to, focusing on photography. And apart from that, I always like to do some arts and crafts and like be creative with whatever we can do with arts, either like quilling or like creating, even coloring. Coloring makes me so happy. It just makes me more relaxed and stuff. Yes, when I was younger, I used to color these coloring pages that we see in books for kids and stuff. And now when I grew up, I started coloring these more detailed images that we can see every now and then. It just makes me very, very relaxed. And yeah, I still do a little bit of sports now and then. I can't say I'm very good at sports, but it's something that I like doing. And honestly, you gotta do what you love doing. And yeah, I just hope that one day, even if I don't work in the IT industry, I can still use my hobbies and my talents to do stuff like that. Oh, and I also knit, that? It's also a hobby. It's not like something I'm very good at, but I've had some help from my family members or stuff like that. So they always support me to do what I love and not just stick to programming and stuff like that. So yeah, I like almost everything. There's nothing I don't like doing, I guess.
Risham is here. She's saying she loves you, and she's very
Um,
motivated. She's saying that you're very motivating. And wait, you knit like as in like the two needles and
it's
or
more
it's more
for
of like the
now.
machine kind of thing.
No, no, not the machine. Yeah, the
No
needle and
way.
all of that.
This
Yeah,
like
the hook.
guys, I literally I'm leaving everything after this show and learning how to knit. Like this is a skill that I think we should like keep in life. Cuz guys, you guys don't get it. Humans made machines to knit, but if those machines don't eventually catch up, there's no one who knows how to knit, and we're gonna be naked all over the world. Like, guys, this is a skill that we should like keep encapsulated, keep those skillful letters. Wow, interesting. Wow, this is actually interesting. Like something that I've never even thought of doing, but like, wow, that is something I'm definitely gonna look into. I'm passionate about literally everything. Like an ant could walk on the wall, and I'd be like, looking at it and being interested, all that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's very 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 interesting that you know these things, and wow. So I see that you're into crafts and arts, into the artistic side as well, and PE.
Yeah.
Any specific sports that you play, like basketball, football, anything favorites? Any?
Um, I don't think really like a sport. I was never part of the basketball team in our school or something. But I always like to join these kind of stuff. I
Mm.
sometimes play ping pong with my friends. Just anything on the field, honestly, like playing any kind of ball. Not football though, because I've tried it and let's say maybe girls wouldn't really enjoy that kind of sport. But in general, yeah, the other stuff and just the idea of staying active and playing any kind of sports, even exercising is fine actually. So yeah, any
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
yeah.
Any updates or any, let's say, improvements on these skills? So have you been spending some time on those skills, and do you feel like you want to maybe pursue one of them later on in your field? Because I believe, again, art could be digital as well, and maybe you can encapsulate that with your computer science and IT knowledge. Have you ever thought about doing something like that? So basically, I have a degree in computer science. I know how to program, but at the same time, I like playing games, and I'm trying to mix both of them together. So have you ever thought of doing something like that where you mix both skills that you have? Literally, like I'm literally thinking on the spot, and I'm thinking maybe you should do a machine that knits. That would be cool. Guys, if she, and I'm telling in front of all of you guys, if she does that project, I'm literally sponsoring her for it. And there we go. That's my
Yeah.
promise to you.
Yeah, yeah, to answer your question, yes, I did think about it. I once went for an internship as a social media intern, and I also did photography for that event as well. So this is actually when I met the other photographers, and I thought, I'm good at this, and they gave me a camera, and
Mm.
I did so good at it, yeah. So it was at that point that I thought, okay, what if I actually start my portfolio someday, make it and because I know web development all and like maybe app development and so on, maybe I would actually make a career out of it. Like it doesn't have to be developer or like an IT person. Maybe I can be a photographer and do it part time, or even yeah, as you said, the arts field and stuff like that. But about the knitting machine, I'm still thinking about that. Yeah.
That would be my favorite project. You have no idea. Like suddenly, I love knitting so much. I literally have to go get 2 needles and a thread. This could actually be a small project to me, like a challenge to me. Is I should make a little jacket for a baby, and it should be
Yeah.
obviously usable. Like I think that would be a good challenge for me, and to kind of validate if I know how to knit or not, or should I just like give up the whole skill whatsoever.
No, it's fine. You see, nothing is easy when you first started. When I first started, actually, I was taught by my grandma. She
Mm.
used to knit and all of that. So she taught me how to grab the hook, how to grab the thread, and all of that. So it wasn't easy at the beginning, but I just loved it. I guess I'm in love with the idea of how you can create something out of nothing. So it's really amazing. It's not just in computer science, it could be also applied in real life and all of that. So yeah, I think I should work more on that. Maybe someday I can mix both careers and make something out of it. Who knows?
Wow, wow, wow. Like, guys, again, every time I have people on this show, I get so motivated. It's really interesting how I can hear people's stories and how their journeys got them to where they are. I've had like around 9 people so far, and all of them had really interesting stories, including Salwa, of course. And the way that she started with like nothing of no knowledge in a field that she didn't even like in the beginning, but then how she turned it into a passion and made a good use out of it, and now she's like going further and further. By the way, a couple of questions that the people are asking is any like, do you have any aspirations or any goals in the future, like something specific that you want to achieve? Maybe like I want to build this specific thing, or I want to reach this specific job. Is there any goal that you want to reach?
I guess my main goal is to be able to help myself, and I always think about that. So what do I really want out of this career or out of this field? And I guess I don't want the perfect job, but I really want to be able to to understand the problems that are happening around me, maybe, or around my business, or wherever I work, and try to come up with a solution for that. It doesn't have to be an app or a technical stuff, but just to be able to come up with solutions that would obviously make our lives better and solve a specific problem. So if I can reach that would be just everything that I wish for at this point. Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. Well, guys, the last question before we actually end this. Again, thank you, Salwa, so much for being here. Really, really inspiring. Just the last question. What kind of gave you that? Who do you look up to? What's your idol? Who's the person that, like, every time you feel like you cannot do it anymore, you look at them and you feel like, oh my God, I can actually achieve this, or someone that gives you hope every time you think of them? Is there a specific person, maybe someone close to you, or maybe like a celebrity or someone famous?
Huh. I mean, I don't know how to really answer that because, again, if you had asked me this question 1 year ago, I would have told you, yeah, one of my parents, obviously. But now, like, with all the people that I'm meeting, like the new people that I meet almost every day, and I learn so much, so much from each and every one of them, even if they don't even know that I'm learning that much from them. They just think that they were giving me an advice or something, or they were wishing me to have a good life after that. It really does affect me. And when I look up to someone, I don't just look up to someone who I can become one day, because this is another lesson that I learned, which is like to not ever compare yourself to someone else, even if they're successful and all, because you
Mm.
never really go through the same conditions and situations in their lives. So it's not really like a specific someone that I want to be when I grow up. But yeah, obviously, like almost everyone that I meet or the celebrities that I am interested in, uh, they kind of give me one thing to look up to. So all combined, I really look up to become a positive person, hopefully influential, and be able to help others believe in themselves and be able to love themselves. And yeah, if I can maintain that when I grow up, then that's going to be amazing, because self-love is just everything that any person wants. You don't need a role model to just copy or do everything as they say or something. You can do that on your own, and you can obviously love yourself like you are the biggest achievement that you have ever
Mm,
seen.
I love that.
So why not?
Well, that was a perfect ender. You are the biggest achievement of yourself. That's like
Thank
the
you.
perfect phrase to end for today. Guys, this is Salwa, guys. Thank you so much, Salwa, for being here. I really appreciate
Thank
you
you.
giving some time of your life to be able to come and teach us something really nice. Guys, if you are here from Salwa's side, welcome and thank you so much for watching us. This is the Be Positive Show. We are live every weekend, Fridays and Saturdays, 5 p.m., and we have lovely people talking about lovely things to us. At the same time, I'm always live throughout the week doing some gaming content. So if you guys love games and love to see people play games with funny commentary, this is the place to be. Do follow me so you can get the notifications. Otherwise, Salwa, do you have any last words before we end?
Thank you, Bishar, for having me here. It was a very big step for me as well. So I really wanted to thank you for opening up this door for me. And it made me realize how much we can impact others. And to all of those who came and watched me today, I really, really want to say I appreciate every single one of you. And again, I wouldn't have been here without all of these people that I've met and have affected my life. So I really want them to know how much they have affected my life and how much impact they have on me till today.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you
Thank you,
again.
guys, and thank you for impacting her. And please do keep the support, guys. To get her Instagram and in LinkedIn, use the command explanation mark guest. Please do show her some love. Again, she's a great person, and she's always there to get in touch with you if you need anything. She's very talented, and she's the person you want to get to meet. Thank you, guys, all for being here. I'm gonna be hosting my friend now, so please go show him some love. He's a friend of mine, great guy. He's a Nasr eSport player. So go show him some love. I'm gonna rate him now. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you guys for tomorrow's episode. Have a good day. Bye.